So the topic I decided to do for my final presentation was meditation. A little background about myself is I suffered from PTSD during my time with the Navy. And for the longest time, I couldn't properly regulate my stress. Eventually, my therapist came to me and said to try meditation. I wasn't sure if this would work because I'm not really into Buddhism or prayer, and at first it didn't seem like it was. But after a couple of days of meditating, my lab results started to show decreased blood pressures, elevated oxygen intake during the hour-long sessions I was performing. I also tended to feel a bit more positive after these sessions, and since then I have used meditation to help me handle high amounts of stress. What is meditation? Psychologist Joe Nash says that meditation is the act of focusing your thoughts. Humans have been performing this act for upwards of 150,000 years. In fact, it is believed that the brain functions the way it does because of our ancestors performing the act of fire gazing, where they would gather around a fire and just stare at it for hours, gathering their thoughts. The word meditation stems from the Latin word meditatum, meaning to ponder. Meditation is an umbrella term for many different forms of focus. Ancient shamans in tribal communities would use it to commune with nature, and many religions used it as a way to communicate with their deities. And some monk faiths also thought of it as a way to cleanse the body. Today it is mostly used to help individuals control their actions by collecting their thoughts. Medical studies from Mayo Clinic show people who practice meditation have lower blood pressure, improved EKG levels, which is the brain flaring, and live longer compared to those that don't. There are many different forms of meditation. I would not say any are better or worse than the others. Instead, they focus more on helping people through different methods. I've listed 6 different techniques that I have personally used, some of which worked really well for me, some of which did not. Spiritual meditation is the act of trying to commune with a higher power, whether it be a God, holy light, whatever you believe in, for answers or support. Often used in religious practices, this technique works very well for people who rely on faith to help them through hard times. Mindfulness meditation is the process of working through your own thoughts one at a time. The goal of this meditation is to sort through traumatic memories or negative emotions. The hardest part with this one is you try to view these emotions from a third-person perspective. Separating your attachment to these negative emotions or memories or thoughts helps to understand them more thoroughly. Movement meditation I wouldn't say it's a meditation by itself. Instead, it's the act of practicing these other forms of meditation while moving. Nature walks are a great way to practice movement meditation. However, it doesn't have to be a peaceful form of movement. Lots of athletes use boxing as a form of movement meditation. Focused meditation removes all thoughts of negative events or emotions. Instead of addressing them, this technique is practiced by focusing on an item. Generally, a lit candle is what I would recommend, and ignoring all other thoughts that come to mind. This is exceptionally difficult due to the human's mind's tendency to wander. To refocus when you do wander, take a couple of deep breaths to recenter yourself, and then just go back to staring at the candle. Visualization meditation creates an image in your head for you to focus on. This image can be a loved one or a scenic view. And the goal is to ask yourself, how would you deal with whatever you're experiencing in front of this person or at this location? Typically, it's suggested that beginners use a photo as an aid when starting out with this technique because it's very hard to visualize everything in detail. And finally, The most common form of meditation is chanting meditation. This technique utilizes a chant or mantra to help a person clear their thoughts. Though this one can be performed by yourself, it's recommended to do this one in a group. Surrounding yourself with chant tends to be more immersive than performing it alone. Meditation has a wide range of uses. It can help calm people down, it can reduce stress and anxiety, it can increase oxygen intake and reduce blood pressure. If a person is spiritual, it can help them feel closer to their deity. And medical studies by Mayo Clinic have shown that an hour of meditation has the same restorative effects as 3 hours of sleep. Though don't use it as a substitute for sleep. I will now demonstrate the two forms of meditation I regularly use. First is mindfulness meditation. You start by sitting down in a comfortable position. A big misconception with meditation is you have to sit in a lotus style or on your knees, but that isn't true. Remember, you're doing this for up to an hour. It wouldn't work if you were uncomfortable. Close your eyes, take a deep breath in, and let it out. Take a deep breath in, and let it out. Now, while you continue this breathing technique, think about whatever negative events happened to you recently. Did you get fired from your job? Have an argument with your parents? Maybe even lost a loved one? Why do you think these events happened? Maybe your employer couldn't afford to pay you. Maybe your parents had a point you didn't consider. I like this technique because of its versatility. Sometimes I use it for 5 minutes. Sometimes I'll use it for an hour or two. The other technique I regularly use is chanting meditation. Oftentimes when memories or emotions get to be too difficult, I use this technique. Focusing on the words helps to clear my mind, and the chant you can use is entirely up to the individual. If you follow a Christian faith, like my father, he likes to use Bible verses. Or if you're an more atheist or spiritual religion, I'd suggest a Buddhist mantra. They're very easy to memorize and very easy to follow. The one I most often use is the Buddhist Hymn of Light. It goes, "Praise be to the flawless, all-pervasive illumination of the great. Turn over to me the jewel, lotus, and radiant light." The phrase isn't important. What matters is that you must keep repeating itself to yourself through the duration of the meditation cycle. You also want to maintain a steady rate of breathing when you do this. And that is meditation. Thank you.